live on both.
All right, what's up, everybody? Happy night before Thanksgiving. Carolyn's trying to stay out of the picture here. I'm going to call her out here. Just want to give everybody a big shout out here. We got a screening of the movie Heal coming up before we get started here with the Wednesday Wellness Minute. I just want to talk about the documentary Heal. Amelia put me up to this because she's pretty passionate about it. She's seen it 3 or 4 times now. But if you don't know about Heal, it's basically how your mind affects your health and how, as we've talked about before, if the mind is clear, the bugs in your body and everything else is going to work fine. The organ systems will work fine. So I'll just give you a brief synopsis. So Heal takes on a scientific and spiritual journey when you're discovering, where we discover that by changing one's thoughts, emotions, and perceptions, the body can heal itself. All right. So the power of healing is on the inside from any disease, really. There are books written about spontaneous remissions, about cancer, and all kinds of other garbage that happens. So keep that in mind. Heal not only taps into the brilliant minds of leading scientists and teachers like Dr. Deepak Chopra, Dr. Joe Dispenza, Anita Moorjani, Dr. Bruce Lipton, but many more, okay? And follows the real lives of people who have actually had high-stakes journeys through their healing process and have had spontaneous remissions and things like that. The only reason, basically it's $15. You get a coupon that goes back to you as soon as you spend $15 or $75 on product. And the only reason to do that is because if people don't have something in the game, they're just not invested. And you say, yeah, I'll show up, and they never show up. So this is really about you committing to saying, I want to learn more about my brain and about my body and how they're connected together and how I can heal the body by healing the brain. So that's really the only reason why we do that. So keep that in mind. Bring a friend, and they come for free. It is Thursday, December 6th at 5:30 p.m. Normally we're treating patients from 5 until 6 on that evening, but I have to dip out for a seminar and fly out that night. So there will be a discussion afterwards, so stick around because Amelia's going to be spearheading a conversation about what you learned, what you got out of it, what you're excited about, and things like that. So we hope you can join us because we're super excited about it. It's a fantastic documentary, and we hope you can join us on the 6th. So this evening we're going to be talking about self-care priorities, really. What this is complimentary or compliments or inspired rather by Jonathan, one of our active participants here, which I'll get to in a second. Most people think of patients, but we're now changing our vernacular, our wording to say active participants. And the reason behind that is because if you look up the root of the word patients in Latin and or in Old French, by Carolyn, hi. She's sneaking by. What you want to see is the definition of the word patient actually means suffering. And most people don't know that. I didn't know that, and Amelia and I just came across it during a conversation at one point. We were watching something, and we were just dumbfounded that we've been calling people patients for however long, and they come here to stop their suffering. So yes, I guess you are a patient if you're suffering, but we are changing the way we discuss people, and it's called active participants now. So if you hear us discussing that, don't be thrown for a loop. We're talking about you. We're talking about people who are actively participating in their health and are excited about healing and not just trying to Band-Aid something. So that's just to understand where we're coming from with that. Part of that is when we talk about ourselves as an active participant, there's a famous preacher, Joel Osteen. Some people love him, some people hate him, some people malign him, some people praise him. It doesn't matter to me. But one of his sermons that has really struck a chord with me is called the I Am Ministries. Dr. Wayne Dyer also talked about it. So basically, think about anything you put after the words I am dictates what your life's going to be like. So I am happy or I am sad. I am elated or I am depressed. I am energetic, I am lethargic, right? So these are words. Whatever you put after that is going to dictate your life, right? Whatever you put after I am, as Wayne Dyer says, is going to come looking for you, right? So if I am ugly, I am sad, I am depressed, I am poor, I'm broke, I don't have no luck ever happens to me, things always go bad my way. Everything you put after I am is going to dictate what your life is like. But if you put in I'm wealthy, I am happy, I am beautiful, I am gregarious, whatever adjectives you want to put behind that. So focus on that and pick some words that you like to see yourself as, write them on a piece of paper and look in the mirror and say them to yourself. It's going to feel really weird, but I'm telling you, it will make a big difference about how you look at yourself and how you carry yourself. You have to start shaping your mind because your mind controls everything, okay, as we discussed. We're also excited. We're working on right now vetting out an organization that's going to give us the ability to provide financing for our patients, or our active participants rather. See, it's hard to break that old habit. But what we're doing is we're working with different companies. We're trying to figure out which one's going to be the most advantageous for our active participants in order to supply the funds they need when they don't have it out of pocket. Because everybody's paying toward their insurance premiums, but they don't do anything for enhancing your quality of life. Therefore, we're looking for an organization right now. We're looking between 3 or 4 of them, looking for the best one for active participants to help you and your friends and family that maybe see money as a barrier to getting healthy. This is going to eliminate that barrier because it's going to make it available with 0 interest over time, giving you the opportunity to get the resources you need and get on that healing path. All right, and I just want to preface this segment, this Wednesday Wellness, by saying that this is really, if you're looking at your daily life, right? We're thinking about, I'm running through my daily life and I don't have any major illnesses. I'm not really struggling with a virus, a bacteria, mold, or fungus, or something like that. I don't feel down in the dumps from a bug or something. This is about like you're optimizing life. So these self-care priorities that Jonathan asked me, what is the priority? Like, how do I focus my day as far as what I do for myself? So I've written some stuff up, and what I believe, based on my clinical practice and what I do for myself, that has provided me unlimited energy and really helped me achieve that optimal living that I think you are interested in. I laid it all out, and there's 8 different things. The ones toward the end could easily be at the front, easily. But I put them there because they're less common for people. And therefore, I didn't want to put them front-loaded and everybody be like, well, I don't do meditation, or I don't do goal setting, or stuff like that. So you just know that's coming. But I want to discuss what people are most acutely aware of on a daily basis. So let's get into it. I'm really excited about this. Sleep hygiene, right? Most people think hygiene. I'm thinking I'm in the shower, I'm scrubbing myself, we're all clean and stuff like that. But hygiene is really about your sleep habits and how you are planning your sleep, because sleep cannot be taken haphazardly. What you want to plan on is, the old saying, early to bed, early to rise. The early bird gets the worm, right? There's a reason behind that. For every minute you sleep before midnight is worth 3 minutes afterward. So if you ever heard me say that before, just to reiterate, every minute you sleep before midnight is worth 3 minutes after. So if you go to bed at midnight, it's going to take you 3 times as long to get the restorative sleep you need than if you were to go to bed at like 9 or 10 o'clock at night. Your body needs that because your gallbladder is working from 11 to 1 and your liver's working from 1 to 3. Okay? And everything has its own cycle. And your body needs to be resting, protecting, and digesting. If you're watching TV and there's a movie on, or if you're watching some Facebook Live somewhere, or you're reading a book, that's one thing. Like, books are okay. But if you're like getting stimulated and, getting these hits to your brain, it's going to disrupt your sleep because it's going to drive different hormones. You want to calm things down. So what I described here are some simple ideas. No technology in the bedroom, right? None whatsoever. Get it out. Get the computers out. Get the TVs out. Get it all out of there. It doesn't serve any purpose. It's only going to distract you and ruin your sleep. Your cell phone, if you have it in the room, should be on airplane mode. And if for some reason you have to have it on, no matter what, if it's on airplane mode or on cellular signal, have it across the room so it's away from your body. It shouldn't be within a 3 to 6 foot circle of you. It should be away from your body because those things are sending and receiving all day long and they're not stopping. And your brain will perceive them because your brain senses energy as well, not just things that are touching it or going in it, okay? So keep that in mind. Cool, dark room. You want it as dark as possible because your pineal gland, it governs your sleep. Bye, Carolyn. Have a great night. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Is going to dictate how well you're sleeping, okay? So you want it, bye-bye. Dark, reasonably cool room. You don't want to be too hot. I think 71 degrees is the ideal temperature for the human body to sleep and or feel comfortable at, so keep that in mind. A lot of clothes on, not necessarily good for you. Your body needs to be at a certain temperature. We weren't born with clothes on, so we probably shouldn't sleep with clothes on, but that's certainly a prerogative choice for you. Your cell phones, if you have an iPhone, I know that there's something called night shift. If you swipe up or swipe down, depending on what kind of phone you have, you can set the night shift on there, go into settings, night shift, take the blue light out so your brain is getting stimulated. If you look at the dashboards on cars, you can see a lot of blue light dashboard lights because it's stimulating the brain. They don't want you to fall asleep while you're driving. So get that out of your system. I'm not really sure. Amelia would be the expert on the Android. We had a battle of Android versus iPhone today, and I lost. My iPhone X will not let me get on Facebook Live for whatever reason. So we're rocking the Moto, and Moto's working great. So we just appreciate the Moto. Cool dark room, great. Cell phone across the hall, across the room. Wi-Fi routers. This is the silent, beast in the room. You can't feel it, you can't see it, but it is penetrating your brain and your body all day long. And it's well known and documented that the pineal gland, again, that governs your sleep cycle predominantly with your melatonin and things like that, is going to be disrupted by your Wi-Fi exposure. To the extent where some people who are that sensitive need to be basically sleeping in what are called Faraday cages or mesh netting that's silver lined and protects against EMFs. If you need more information about that, we know the vendors. I'm trying to get to be able to vend that stuff to the direct public because people need that help. We just haven't figured out how to get in touch with these vendors yet. So if you know of one, please let us know. Common misconceptions. You need to avoid alcohol at night. You need to avoid ice cream and avoid what I call packaged foods that have a lot of refined oils in them. So crackers and other things like that. If you look at the package and it has a refined oil in there or something like that, that's going to potentially throw off your gallbladder. Chinese medicine gallbladder governs the sleep cycle. In QR, we have a point on the mastoid here where we test for the deep sleep cycle. If that's off, it's usually something with the gallbladder, but it can be other things. It could be cellular as well. So avoid alcohol, avoid ice cream. You know, everybody's like, "What? I love that stuff." Well, you got to love your sleep more than you love the ice cream. That's all I can say. All right. If you need to squash that craving, take a medical food. You know, take a Ultra Clear Plus or a Perfect Protein or something like that, and have a shake before you go to bed. Well, one of the good things about that is it's going to be helping balance your blood sugar. And if you have any blood sugar issues, dysregulation, where you have prediabetes or diabetes, or you just have the reactive hypoglycemia where you're up and then you're down, you're up and down. You're like 1 minute you're crashing your desk, the next minute you're, hey, I'm up because you got a cup of coffee or something. Just understand that having a little protein at night is going to be a slow release. The amino acids get converted into some carbohydrates that your body can use to keep you asleep, because if you're waking up in the middle of the night and you have low blood sugar, that will actually cause your adrenals to kick out cortisol to mobilize sugar from your liver and your muscles and stuff like that through glycogen. We don't need to get into science and all, but that can wake you up. So if you find yourself waking up at night and you're not sweating and you don't have to go pee, but you're waking up, it's probably because your blood sugar has dropped. So keep that in mind. The 3 areas that I noted here about sleeping are liver and gallbladder, detox, wake up and you're sweating, or you got a pounding headache or something like that, it's liver gallbladder. If you wake up and you don't have enough like bioflavonoids and things like that in your diet, you're going to wake up because your bladder might be spasmodic. You might have a lot of anxiousness, a lot of anxiety. That can make the bladder go trigger. That can wake you up. Or the drop in blood sugar, which you want a slow release protein to have before bedtime. Moving on to food choices. Food choices are a great thing to pay attention to. So first we want sleep, then we want food choices, because we want to get almost of our elements from food. That's the best place to start. So eat the rainbow, right? Eat no more than 1 serving of fruit a day, especially during winter. One of the biggest caveats I wrote down here as far as challenges for kids' health is the fact that they eat a ton of fruit and they don't hydrate very well. So keep that in mind, that we definitely want to have like 1 piece of fruit a day. Stay with cherries, apples, and berries is your best bet. They're a lot of fiber, which takes down the fructose effect on the body because it needs to be digested. But look into healthy fats. Cold water fish, nuts and seeds are great. Those are great healthy fats to help your food choices, which are going to give you stable energy. It's going to burn fat instead of sugar, which means it's going to be like adding on coal to a fire rather than kindling. If you ever made a fire before and you put kindling on there, what happens? Right? That's like a cup of coffee or like a refined sugar. Then let's say you put a yam or a Yukon Gold potato on there, and that's going to be a slower burning but still a fast burning carb. And then if you put a fat on there, it's going to be a slow smoldering fire. So keep that in mind when you want to balance that. When you're eating proteins, try to get grass-fed, try to get organic, try to get free range as best you can. Humanely treated animals, humanely euthanized animals, because if you've seen any of these videos on the internet, it's just horrendous. Where they, I don't want to talk about it. It's horrendous how they're harming these animals or putting them down. It's barbaric. Let's put it that way. So make sure you know how the farmer is growing the animal, raising the animal, and how the butcher is euthanizing them and things like that. 5 ingredients or less. If you're eating a boxed food, it should have 5 ingredients or less. And if your grandmother can't pronounce it, you should probably not eat it. Okay? If you can't pronounce it, you should probably not eat it. Because most of this stuff is manufactured chemicals that they use to flavor things and give it certain textures and things like that. There are food scientists all over the planet that try to design things so you will be obsessed with it, as far as the crunch, as far as the mouthfeel, as far as the taste and the aftertaste. The packaging, it's crinkly, it's all by science. And they're trying to design an addiction up to the point where they put a certain amount of salt in there to make you want to consume more by tricking part of your brain called the hypothalamus to feel like you're not satiated, not hungry, or not satisfied, if you will. Forgive me, I'm talking really fast. I always do, but this is a lot of information. I'm trying to get through it in a reasonable amount of time. So blood sugar issues, we offer the Vitality Food Guide, and that's really good for people that need to balance their blood sugar. So eat protein, fats, and veggies in the morning and at lunch. Save your complex carbs for the evening. So you're looking at Yukon Golds, quinoa, farro, organic, of course. The list goes on and on. But focus on your starches and your veggies at night. Decrease the amount of protein and avoid a lot of heavy fats and things like that. Okay? If you need to lose weight, you might consider eating small meals along the day, right? If you have a lot of reactive hypoglycemia, you might need to have smaller meals over the day, so based on your nutrition. And then, of course, eliminate refined foods, right? If it's in a box, they say if it's made in a manufacturing plant, don't eat it. If it's made from a plant, you should eat it. If you can go out in the field and shoot it with a bow and arrow, eat it then. Okay, it makes sense. Moving on, third in line is hydration. And I kind of alluded to this a minute ago as far as maintaining proper hydration, but you should consume at least half of your body weight in ounces, at least half your body weight in ounces of water every day. If you're exercising, assume it's going to be another liter to 2 liters. Okay, that's 33 ounces in a liter. keep that in mind. If you have a 6-ounce cup of coffee, that's going to deplete a liter because of the amount of diuretic in there with the caffeine. It's going to force your body to accelerate the metabolic pathways, and it's going to dump another liter of water out of your body. A 6-ounce cup, 1 6-ounce cup, not like 3 of them, but 1. So those of you guys with the big gulps, you know, if you've ever seen that, 64-ounce thing, it's big. You shouldn't drink that much coffee. The caffeine is going to jack with your adrenals, plus most people's livers can't handle the polyphenols. So you probably want to grab something tasty like this, the Dandy Blend. And then if you want to make a mocha schmocha, you can grab some dynamic greens with the mocha flavor, and you're going to be, you know, in heaven, hog heaven, baby. All right, so salt intake. Most people are not getting enough salt. I know people that are of hypertension, they're saying, don't touch salt. You know, salt's going to raise your blood pressure. It's actually a miscommunication, it's a misunderstanding about that. If you need more information about balancing blood sugar, or rather blood pressure and salt, please let us know. We'll be happy to provide that information. Terrain Factors is a great tool we use from New Human. That is going to help the cells drink again. It's called pinocytosis. That's going to tell the cells we need to pull water in. And if you think about the description between a raisin and a grape, right? Grape's nice and plump and juicy, raisins shriveled up and dehydrated. That's what we use to describe people's cells when we talk about the BIA and stuff like that. As I mentioned before, most childhood illnesses can be avoided by having proper hydration for these kids. Make sure they're going around school with a water bottle. Make sure that they are avoiding excess sugar, gluten, and dairy, because those are they're gonna trash their immune systems and really slow them down. Exercise is fourth in line of the priorities as far as self-care goes. If you can move your body, you will change your brain waves. You will change the biochemistry in your brain. It's fantastic as far as helping you feel good about life, giving you a positive outlook. As I mentioned a couple weeks ago, the number one thing you can do to eliminate anxiety and depression is exercise. The number of benefits go on and on. Oh Lord, now my wife's calling me. All right, turn that off. See, it's what happens when you put your spouse on passing do not disturb. She gets through anyway. Okay, so BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. That's like juice for your brain. It's like sprinkling on like growth factor on your brain. It's fantastic. That gets boosted when you have exercise. Insulin sensitivity makes your cells more receptive to that insulin, which most of us in America are insulin resistant. Our cells can't accept more of that sugar. Just like, whoa, dude, slow down with the sugar. I can't take any more. So it passes back through. Then your body converts it into what's called a triglyceride, and then it's transferred across the cell membrane and creates fat. All right. So just avoid that. Get your insulin sensitivity up by doing exercise. Growth hormone. Having strong bones. A lot of people with osteoporosis, osteopenia have decreased growth hormone factor because they don't exercise enough. You need to weight bear. You need to get resistance against your bones, because when your muscles pull on your bones, it's going to model your bones and give it more structure, stronger bones. Okay, so if you have either of those conditions, you definitely want to exercise. If you exercise in the morning, testosterone and cortisol are peaked in the morning. That's a really good opportunity to raise all these if you exercise in the morning. Fat oxidation is the fancy word for saying breakdown of fat. So fat tissue oxidation is really increased in the morning and can create, when you do exercise in the morning, it will be extended throughout the day. So what they do is say, fire up your furnace on an empty stomach and let it burn the rest of the day. That's really a good way of thinking about it. But make sure you're doing an extended warm-up, and even using some caffeine, if you will. Atensia is a great product we have that's going to raise your caffeine levels and be able to help you be stimulated in the morning to get you to the optimal physiological level, like you would be at between 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock in the afternoon. That's really good for helping you get to that peak state, if you will, warming your body, core, and things like that. All right, rock and rolling. Number 5, nutrition. In the absence of any major illness or challenge to your health, you want to focus on the fabulous 5, is what we call them. Multivitamin, omega-3 fatty acids, greens, veggies you chew and or supplement you take, vitamin D and probiotic. Now, vitamin D, hormone D, you're on Facebook Live right now. How can I help you?
Where are you?
I'm at the clinic. I'm doing the Facebook Live. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
You don't have to come. But if you don't need to come, you can just head home.
All right. Love you. Bye. All right. Sorry about the interruption, but she called 3 times, so I didn't want it to be an emergency. Fantastic. Okay. So getting back to it, probiotics, gut health, right? We consume foods, whether it be the plants, whether it be the animals. Their animals are fed antibiotics. The antibiotics are put on the plants, all this kind of stuff, okay? So you need to be balancing this, because it's coming at you at a rate you're not even aware of. So you have to balance that. Vitamin D, hormone D, you're not getting any in Minnesota from September 9th to April 2nd. So just keep that in mind. You need to supplement vitamin D. No matter what your medical doctor is telling you, the peer-reviewed research it's called the preponderance of evidence, says you need to boost your vitamin D between 50 and 70 nanograms per milliliter. Omega-3 fatty acids, get it from a plant source. We use what's called clinicians' preferred oils because they used to be called parent omegas, which means they are plant oils that break down into the omega-3 fatty acids that balance your inflammation. So keep that in mind. That's a really helpful thing. The greens, of course, alkalize your body. They feed your nervous system. They feed the bugs in your gut. The greens, the fibers are actually used for feeding the bugs in the gut, which is fantastic. So keep that in mind. And a multivitamin, of course. Our favorite is the pH balancer. Liquid, it's easy to digest. Your body can absorb it instantaneously. Now get into more nuanced ones that some people may or may not desire to do. Meditation's fantastic. Focus on what you want in life. Tony Robbins says, where focus goes, energy flows. So where you put your attention, whether it be on, I'm pissed off about this, someone did this to me, they wronged me in this way, whatever it might be, if your energy's there, you're getting sucked down in that black hole. Or if you're thinking, hey, you know what, I can't change what they did, but I'm gonna make the best out of it. I'm gonna take a negative, make it a positive. I'm gonna be positive about it. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna send them love no matter what they did. I'm gonna forgive them because I'm gonna forgive them for myself, not for their sake. I'm gonna move on. So keep that in mind, that's helpful. Focus on gratitude. It's impossible to be pissed off, upset, angry, resentful, and grateful at the same time. Anytime you find yourself resentful, angry, whatever it might be, just flip the opposite side. Say, I'm so grateful for my wife, my child, my ability to help people, the fact that I have 2 legs and arms, take your pick. Everybody can rip off 5 at least in a few seconds what you're grateful for. Focus on gratitude. An attitude of gratitude opens up doors. I believe that was Zig Ziglar, maybe it was Jim Rohn, I'm not sure. Heal your body. When you're meditating, go inward. Focus, close your eyes, and go take a journey through your body and find your way to the point that's most tense, most painful. And I literally talk to yourself, right? You have to have an intelligent conversation with somebody every once in a while, so you might as well talk to yourself. Okay, that's kind of a joke I use, but go in there, figure out what's going on. Like, okay, I need my immune system working here. I need my guts healing. I need my brain healing. I need to get rid of this unlovability or unworthiness. I need to get rid of this, that, or the other. Whatever I'm feeling, I need to go in there and source that out. So use that as part of your meditation. Conflict resolution. We talk about QNRT all the time because it is the most profound thing we've ever come across as far as resolving these conflicts and getting the brain healing, which is going to allow the body to heal. Zig Ziglar calls it a checkup from the neck up, right? If you don't fix what's wrong between this part of your body, you're never going to fix what's going on in this part of your body, okay? We can do Band-Aids, we can help you get out of pain and discomfort and get your body back on track, but if there's an unrelenting thing that's causing your body to break down, you need to get to the root cause, and it's usually in the brain. So that's what we specialize in, that's what we can help you with. Some people say holding on to resentment and anger is like drinking poison and hoping another person's going to die, right? So you're just ruminating like, oh, I'm so upset or whatever it is, and they're off, living life, and they're not even concerned about you, but you're over here just churning about it, right? So keep that in mind. You can't drink poison and hope they're going to pass because it's never going to work, and you're just going to lose, and they're going to win. Another way to look at it is it's not the snake bite that gets you; it's the venom that courses through your blood once the bite has happened. So it's not what somebody does to you; it's what you make of that, and then what you continue to focus on moving forward. Just a couple things to ponder there. Get some counseling. If you have marital challenges, go to a counselor. Make sure your spouse is bought in. Get there. Get tools so you guys can communicate better. Make sure you're resolving those conflicts in the relationship, because ultimately, if you don't have healthy relationships, the quality of life is going to be decreased dramatically. Your relationships are the greatest indicator of your quality of life. If they're not healthy, you're not going to be healthy. So use QNRT or some other method like that to eliminate these triggers. We call them triggers because they're usually people that are in your life now that are causing your brain to see another stress like it happened earlier in life. And so it basically is an old trauma that they like ripped the scab. If you ever had a scab and somebody tugged on it or you scraped it again, it's like, it stings, right? What you need to do is make sure you're healing that permanently so that no matter what anybody does to irritate it, whether it's in your heart, your gut, wherever it be in your body, that they can't pull that scab open and rip that wound open. So we want to eliminate the trigger reaction. You can't take away the memory of what happened, but you can take away how your brain reacts to it, and that's what QNRT does. All right? Last but not least, let's talk about goal setting real briefly. You can't hit a target you don't have set. Okay? If you don't set something out there like I'm going for this, you're never going to hit it. Okay? And if you don't take aim at something, if you're not focused on it, like we talked about where focus goes, energy flows, you're going to get distracted. human beings have about a 3-second attention span. Like during this conversation, the last 15 minutes, you've probably been distracted 20 times. Maybe 100, I don't know, okay? You got kids, you got spouse, somebody called, right? You love your spouse, whatever it is. You have a short attention span. Just understand that we're getting bombarded by advertisements and all kinds of garbage all day long. Focus on where you want to go, obsessively, if you will, so that you can't get distracted. And then write your goals down. Write them down morning and night. Write them down so you are focused on that task. Like, where do you want to go? Drive your ship. Set your sails in the direction of where you want to go. Okay, so just to recap, you have sleep, we have exercise, sleep, food choices, hydration, exercise, nutrition, meditation, healing the conflicts in your life, especially around the holidays. Nobody benefits from having bad blood in the air during the holidays, and then goal setting, okay? Give us a shout. Let us know if you found this beneficial. Jonathan, we hope this clarifies some stuff for you. Let us know what you want us to talk about. We will provide the information. Just let us know. So share it with your friends and family so they know how to take care of themselves. This is just my take on the priority list. If you have an illness, you might have to jump on nutrition first. You might have to just take time off, whatever you're doing, slow down, do less, and really build up your body. It just depends on what you're dealing with, and that's what we're experts in, so that's what we're here to help you for. Okay? So give us a shout out. Let us know what we can help you with. Share with your friends and family. Give us a thumbs up. We know we're doing what you need us to do as far as being a resource for you in the community. And we will look forward to seeing you after Thanksgiving. Have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Amelia, say happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
And we will see you next week for the Wednesday Wellness Minutes. Take care, everybody. Happy Turkey Day. Enjoy.